guys, Allie here to give you an update on all the big wins from this past week by our great Rumpier Sports hosts and members. Our guy Uncle Dunkle led the charge with over 40K in NFL winnings for week 16. Huge congrats to longtime RPS member D-Rock for his 24K NBA hit on Christmas. The Lil Jordan Humphrey love was strong in the Discord on Monday and led to some huge wins on the Showdown slate. Surprise, surprise, BigT had another big night, pulling in over 100K across sites on the Dolphins Saints Showdown slate. This was just a few days after shipping another 150K in NBA. BigT wasn't the only one repping Rumpier Sports with a big hit. Shout out to Quick on to Cribs, who also took down 24K on Monday's NFL Showdown slate. Meanwhile, Tway Rich hit for over 35K across sites, and Joseph Swartz shipped 215K on DraftKings. The wins just keep piling up in the RPS universe, which could only mean one thing. There is no better time to join than right now. We've recently teamed with SaberSim to offer a great deal on a combo subscription where you can access all of our content and their great optimizer and projection system for one low price. Head on over to rumpiersports.com to get the deal now and start running here with us.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rumpier Sports NBA Hardwood show. We are here to break this thing down, and we got some big news. We just lost the Nuggets and the Warriors game not too long ago, so this has turned into a 3-game slate, and I believe, and I got to look real quick, I believe this 3-game slate is now all at the same time. I don't think there's like any space in between the games. Is that correct there, Hoop? We got all the games?
Yeah. 7 p.m. Eastern. All 3 games will be done, ready to hit the sheets by 10 Eastern. It's going to be a good night here.
Those are fun. Those are funny nights because you're just like confused when you look at the leaderboard. You're like, well, can I catch up? Or I'm up top, and maybe people can't catch me. It is funny how the leaderboard works on these nights. It's a lot different, but should be fun. Excited for this slate. Excited to break it down with you guys and talk about it. We got the Magic who are just, they're going to be on basically having nobody on there. But I'm back in Denver, and Hoop, I got to bring this up just because we got the two of you on this show. You'll laugh. I forgot to tweet it out. Guess what was on the plane? Guess what in-flight movie I could have watched if I wanted to today on the way home?
Oh, it's got to be the old the Broadway, the West Side Story, right?
Yeah, I could have watched the West Side Story. I did not watch West Side Story.
Man. That'd have been a great bit for today.
Yeah, I got the picture. I should have tweeted it out. I still can, but it was hilarious. It was so funny. I was scrolling through the channels. I was like, oh, nice. I got the free TV. I can watch whatever I want. And all of a sudden, I saw some West Side Story. I didn't tune in. I watched a little bit of the Jazz and Blazers game, ran back, and I was like, this game's terrible. I can't watch this one. But, yeah, I thought that was funny and a good time. But, I'm back and ready to go, ready for the NBA. AP, how was the holiday for you? Are you ready for New Year's tomorrow?
Yeah, it was good. And I've avoided it. It's been a really funny bit. It's become a Christmas tradition, just hitting up a movie. And I was told the decision, and I don't usually know what it is going into it. I just show up and, do my part. It was either Sing 2 or the West Side Story. And, oh, man, it would have been so much better. Sing 2, nice 90-minute movie for the kids. But, no, it was absolute disaster. Holidays were good though, man. Nothing to complain about.
That's good. Yeah, we got New Year's coming up. Hoop, do you have anything to do for New Year's? I don't have the plan yet, but we'll see what I get together. You got any plans? Do anything with the kids, the wife? What's the plan for Hoop for the New Year?
Yeah, I'm not a big New Year's guy. I prefer to stay local, do something with the family, close friends. Nothing too crazy. Might head over to the neighbor's house. You never know, but it's going to be a low-key New Year's Eve for the Hoop household.
Well, I don't know if we have JT on tomorrow's show or not. He's in Montana right now, and I'm hoping we get some good stories from him. So maybe he's spending the New Year on a nice getaway and like a couple's weekend or something. He's gone for like 5 days or something. So hopefully we can get some good stories from him from New Year's. Maybe you guys will have some good stories for us. Maybe BigT.
Who lives a better life than JT Hayes? I mean, just living the absolute dream life. New Year's in Montana, just What a hero.
Yeah, he's gonna have some stories for us the next time he's on. So
He might not be on it because I think I recall him messaging me saying he's not going to be able to be on Off the Chalk. So I got to get a replacement for that. We'll see though. I'm looking forward to hearing those stories too. But man, what a life our guy JT Hayes lives. I mean, man.
Well, he's always traveling. He's always traveling around to hang out with the parents of the NBA players because he knows them all. He's got all the connections in the world. JT Hayes is a world traveler, sponsored by Air France. Visits the Eiffel Tower, does it all. But we can obviously talk about this NBA slate. There's it's shorter, so we'll do our best to stretch out the hour. We'll see what we can do. We'll see how we'll do with it. Obviously, we got this Magic game that we could definitely talk a lot about, but there's not a lot of guys to talk about. That's the key. And AP, before we kind of, go into this game, you're talking all about the Magic and like you just want the Magic. You're like, this is going to be a good spot for them. And I tend to agree. It's definitely a good spot to get some Magic into your lineup. The question is, who is it? And like the issue with the Magic too is like, I don't know if you saw the other day, Hassan Gravett, just during the game, he entered health and safety protocols. It was just insane.
I saw that. I'm like, how does that happen? I saw that and I was like, what? I'm like, I thought he was playing. Well, yeah, the Magic are really intriguing because look at the Pistons last night. Like that was a low scoring game. If you just saw the box score and just looked at the total of that game, you'd have been like, what a disaster, easy fade. But no, not the case. You had to have multiple Pistons in there to be in the optimal last night. So like I look at this Magic team, they're without, so they ran 11 guys last game. So that's the other thing. They do like to run however many guys they have. However, two of those guys are going to be out, Gravett and Robin Lopez tonight. So they're going to have an even tighter rotation here. And you just got to think that the Wagner brothers, they're very much in play. Wendell Carter, like if he plays 36 minutes here, he could smash. I think it's just a really interesting spot for the Magic. I think RJ Hampton is just an absolute smash play. The one guy I'm off. So like I like all of these guys. The one guy I just want to fade and under project is Gary Harris. I just like, he seems more of like a floor type play, whereas like RJ Hampton can actually create and get buckets. Franz Wagner looked good. And maybe even look at like Tim Frazier off the bench. I don't think you'll need to go there. I think for me, it's going to be 4 max from the Magic. I don't know if that's too many. I haven't ran any builds yet, but man, I just think RJ Hampton, Wagner brothers, and Wendell Carter are going to get all the minutes they can handle here.
Yeah, so you can look at a guy like Franz Wagner on this slate, and like I think he's someone that, $7K. If you told me like you had to pay $7K for Franz Wagner on like a 9-game slate, I'd be like, okay, I don't know if I need to do it. He could get there. He'd definitely do well. And I think he's a good play here. It's only a 3-game slate. You are going to have to roster some gross guys. You're going to have to roster some guys that you're like, okay, I got to hold my nose on. I don't love these plays, but it's just going to happen. So I think obviously you have to like Mo as well. You can't ignore him. RJ Hampton, I do think he is better than Gary Harris as an option. And it's nice. You get the little flexibility for guard and point guard. Gary Harris, you get that shooting guard and small forward flexibility. But man, rostering Gary Harris is not the best. And the one thing to talk about on this slate that I think is really important, and it's the Bucks kind of play into this too as well, is you have a lot of guys that are just, the raw point plays are overpriced. You have Giannis. Not that he's overpriced, but it does feel expensive in this situation, especially with the blowout lurking and the minutes maybe aren't there. Yes, he can get there in only like playing. Like, would you be shocked if Giannis had 55 fantasy points in like 26 minutes? No, because it's Giannis. He can easily do it. Chris Middleton, 8K. That feels pricey in this spot. Drew Holiday, 8.9, and could possibly lose minutes if the game blows out. That gets me concerned. And then I'm not jumping from games, but like the other studs on the slate, they're Embiid, they're Harden. It's Kevin Durant. And again, it's in situations where now it's getting more crowded. And we're just running out of studs on this slate to pay up for is one of the issues. So, Hoop, I'll go to you. How do you handle the Bucks here? Talk about that a little bit. And then talk about the Magic, because it does feel like a spot where you just want to slam Magic in your lineups because we have a team that's just way too shorthanded and it's only a 3-game slate. If it was a 9-game slate, you'd probably still be getting some Magic in your lineups.
Yeah. Before I hop into the game, I just wanted to mention that our boy Junior, who was honestly AP's only supporter in the chat a couple days ago when we were bashing the Broadways and the live plays, coming to the rescue today, and he wants to do a ticket giveaway. He's going to give away a ticket, I believe, to the $100 contest on DraftKings today. He's going to pick someone from the YouTube chat that's interactive, that makes us all laugh, and he's going to give him a ticket. So, get in the chat, be interactive, and then he'll get your PayPal information. He's going to hit me up with the winner in Discord and give the ticket away. So we appreciate.
Is this one ticket to see Hamilton or 2 tickets? How many?
Well, that's what I had a feeling he's trying to mix in something. It's not really going to be a contest ticket. He's going to mail the winner a Broadway ticket to like Hamilton or something like that. A little secret surprise. We definitely appreciate it. Junior, giving back. It's always a good thing to do. It's what we've been all about here at Run Pure Sports. So thank you for doing that. Kudos to you. In terms of this game and the slate overall, it's dirty, and you're going to have to play some guys that you're uncomfortable playing on the slate. There's no doubt about it. On the Bucs side, it's tough because you look at it and they're actually one of the few healthy teams, I guess, right now in the NBA where they have most of their guys active. And the problem is most of the guys are fully priced. Drew Holiday, 8.9, Middleton, 8K, Giannis, 11.6, where he should be. But then like Portis is 7.5. Cousins is priced up because of his increased role lately. They have DiVincenzo back. A lot of bodies here and a lot of difficult price tags. So really, for me, the only guy I'd consider playing on the Bucs side would be Giannis, and that's because we've lost Jokic on the slate. Jokic was clearly the top spend on the slate. Warriors Nuggets game goes down. Now Giannis has to be a little more in the conversation. Now the Magic side is clearly the more interesting side in terms of fantasy, which is crazy because they're 14-point underdogs, one of the better teams in the NBA. But it just goes to show you how intriguing NBA DFS can be. It's like one of the worst teams in the league, but it's the team that we probably have the most interest in for this slate. They're going to be super thin. They still have some good price tags. RJ Hampton at 3.9, phenomenal play. I agree with AP on Gary Harris. Like out of all these guys, Gary Harris is just the last guy, or the one that I'm least interested in. He's 5.1 on DK, playing a ton of minutes and still just like barely getting there in terms of value. Could he go out and have a big game? Yeah, maybe, but I'm going to side with other guys. Franz Wagner, 7K. The price tag has come up, but he's had some monster games, a 42 spot a couple weeks ago, and then a 57 spot. When was that? 2 nights ago. So definitely in play here at 7K. Wendell Carter, it's an uncomfortable price tag for Wendell at 7.6K, but he's going to play a lot of minutes and likely gets you around 40 fantasy points. Mo Wagner, very interesting, 3.2 on DK, 3.8 on FanDuel, going to have a big role here tonight. And then on the bench, the guy I'd have the most interest in would be Tim Frazier. Do we have to go there? I don't know. Probably not, but he's definitely got to keep in the player pool. He could get 25, 28 minutes here, and he's a guy that we've seen has some pretty big fantasy performances over the course of the last couple of years. So it's a weird situation here where the Bucs are 14-point favorites over the Magic, but we're going to like the Magic guys way more for fantasy purposes tonight. Some of these plays are super uncomfortable. It's not comfortable to load up on the Orlando Magic, but it's a 3-game slate. We have some increased prices on the studs here, so we're going to have to look to Orlando Magic. There's no way around it.
Yeah, also on the flip side, if you're not comfortable with some of these plays, well, a lot of people aren't. And if you have some take that you feel like you have an edge on, play that guy. Don't be like, oh, I feel like I have to play him. Just I think it's definitely it's not one of those slates where you just need to play certain guys. So, but again, there are some guys that are really good plays. There's some that could be not as great chalk plays. AP, what are you doing with the Bucs? Because the Bucs are kind of like what I said to Hoop. You are going to have to, if you have all these value plays, you are going to have to spend on some raw points, and the Bucs are some raw point players that you put in your lineups. So the problem is, I don't love playing these guys. So what are you doing here with Giannis, Drew, and Middleton? Because I think it's an interesting conversation how to handle.
Yeah. So the problem with the Bucs is they ran, I believe, a 10 or 11-man rotation last game. The raw points from Giannis could be enough on the slate. However, that's the one guy I'm going to give him a fair projection. Everyone else, I'm going to under project. I would rather have exposure to these teams where we know the rotation is going to be very thin, very limited, and we know those guys are going to be forced into minutes, even if they're, worse players. I just, it's a very simple concept in my opinion. So maybe Giannis hits my build. I'm not forcing a run back, even if I have like 4 Magic players. I just think there's going to be more attractive spots. The Cavs, Wizards. We've already had more news come in, and we can have very limited rotations there. We have studs in the Philly and Nets game. So I think for me, it's going to be, let's get a few of these Magic players. Maybe Giannis hits our build. Maybe he doesn't. I am not 100% sure on him yet. It's going to depend on projections and just running a few different builds using SaberSim. And that's how I'm going to treat it. But I don't think there's going to be any other Bucks guys in my lineups tonight.
All right, guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe. It helps us out a ton. We got 323 watching. We got 104 likes, so let's get those up. And then after this next game, we'll obviously try to figure out where we're going to go with, the number of likes to get to. And we'll do our best to draw this show out as best as possible. Hoop, here's a question to ask you, I guess we could say. Start of the year, right? You got any plans coming up with some sign-up deals or anything? Any secret things coming, or what's it looking like? I mean, we got all the sports coming up, right? MMA will be back. Golf will be back. It seems like everything will be full throttle here with all the sports coming up. So we got anything coming up here over at Run Pier for the people?
Yeah, so going into the new year, one of our big focuses is going to be to get these updates on SaberSim. We have that partnership with SaberSim. The SaberSim optimizer is right on our website. Well, we're working with their developers to kind of incorporate some of our content right on SaberSim, where you'll be able to see the core plays tagged right on the optimizer. You'll be able to see the cash plays tagged right on the SaberSim optimizer, and you'll be able to build your lineups based around that. If you see someone's core that you like, you'll be able to say, hey, I want to build 20 teams with AP's core, BigT's, or JSU's core. You'll be able to do that right there in optimizer. So that's the right there in SaberSim. So that's the big thing that we're working on going into 2022. It should be ready within, I think, the first week or two. I'm not making any promises. The last time what's the saying? They all say you under promise and over deliver. I learned my lesson on that when we were trying to, tease the big news. So should be the first week or two of January. And I think we're going to try to launch another a little promo or something to begin the year. So we'll see. In terms of the other stuff, we're going to have some videos as well that are going to go up on our YouTube channel, where we're breaking down little pieces of little tidbit videos really for the SaberSim optimizer, how to do the late swap, how to build 20 teams and optimize them, how to potentially, change your exposure in the step 3 of the optimizer. So a lot of cool things, but the big thing, like I said, is going to be those updates to the SaberSim optimizer on our website.
Yeah, who plays about expectations, right? And we just got to keep them. Sometimes we got to watch from what happened last time. Like if you bought your wife flowers every single week, right, and then you didn't buy them one week, she'd be like, "Well, where's my flowers?" And you just lose the meaning. So we got to make sure that we keep the expectation a little lower than last time. We understood that we shot too far, but we're gonna do our best to bring that to you guys.
Yeah, and I will say the part about expectations. Funny you say that, because I'm not like a quote guy or a inspirational message guy by any means. A long time ago, I heard this quote, and I love it, and I kind of live by it. It's like, the quote is, expect nothing and you'll never be disappointed. It sounds, like a down type message, but really in reality, you can use that in a lot of aspects of life. You should not be expecting much in life. So if you don't expect much, you'll never be disappointed. So it's a quote I heard and I like.
It's like another quote I heard, all you got to do is score the most fantasy points at the end of the day and you'll win, right? It's just,
a wise man once said, right?
Do you have any inspirational quotes for the people that you live by, or nothing for us?
Me? No, I like both of those. Those are both legit. No, I mean, I like a good motivational quote or video from time to time, but none that I've memorized or anything like that. You
tweet out the Joe Rogan ones sometimes. So, watch out. Start the new year. Maybe you'll get some, I think it's the Joe Rogan ones you've tweeted out before. So, you never know what you'll get. Start of the new year. Everyone's motivated. Here's a question.
Hey, man, don't get us canceled, man. Don't be telling people I listen to Joe Rogan.
I mean,
some people out there don't respect that guy.
I'll
be honest. Like, if you're one of those guys that just like, like just, goes with the stigma and just like automatically thinks like he's a weasel, you're very wrong. Like the guy is actually very smart, brings on a lot of different people onto his podcast. So it's a very, very entertaining listen if you ever.
We haven't got canceled yet with Hoop Talk and Dr. Hoop.
That's true. Very good point. Very good point.
I think we're for the most part in the clear. But yeah, definitely, okay, guys, hit the likes, get the subscribes up. Again, helps out a ton. And we got NFL content coming up this week. So if you subscribe to the channel, you can check all of that out. But we'll dive in. We'll go over to the next game. And this is where it gets tough because the Nets have been a team that we've been targeting, and it's been fun. But, the fun kind of stops now because the price tag. But you need raw points. And James Harden can certainly get a bucket, and he certainly could be a guy that's in your lineups. And at the end of the night, if he's the highest scorer, you might need him because of all the salary that you might have on the slate. Kevin Durant coming back from COVID. I don't know if he had it or if he's on a protocol, but like you do have to sometimes think about some of these stars. Like how much are they going to push him? Are they just going to go full throttle, right? You saw Trae Young play 40 minutes. And the other side, you see some guys that don't play all the minutes when they come back. Like LaMelo Ball only played 27 in his first one. So it's tough to decide. And what if you're a star duds? Like that could hurt you a ton tonight. So I think it's definitely a tough situation with the Nets. I believe I prefer Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid at 11K. I know center is a spot that's sometimes tough. I don't know if the position is going to matter today that much, but Joel Embiid at 11K feels like a raw point spend that I want to get.
Wait, did you just say you don't know if the position is going to matter?
Oh,
are you changing?
Stop him.
I'm not sure.
Are you changing sides, man?
I said today. I don't know. I'm trying to think about it, but I don't know.
Can I make a case that positions will matter today?
All right,
look at center.
On it, AP.
We got Daniel Gafford.
Oh, who bury him?
No, we got Daniel Gafford. We got Mo Wagner, obviously Wagner. I think center is pretty loaded. I mean, Kevin Love, very much in play. Mobley, very much in play. Wendell Carter, if he gets the minutes, very much in play. Embiid, Gafford, Wagner, all guys you can play at center. Some of those guys you can play at forward too. But center's important.
There you go. Get owned. Hoop center matters today. But
hey, you're the one that said it. You said you don't know if positions are going to matter. I mean, you're welcome. You're welcome to join the team if you want. If you want to backtrack, that's fine too.
No chance. I'm not going to those bushes. I will stay on the side I'm at. But it will be interesting to see what happens with Joel Embiid today. Will he be high owned? Will he be lower owned? I am very, very curious because I like Joel Embiid. I assume he is going to have some ownership, but if he does have ownership, well, because you can only roster 2 centers, well, maybe some cheaper centers get under owned. So that'll be very interesting to see how that all shakes out. And I do think it's a spot where he is one of the better studs on this slate. You also can make a case that Tobias Harris could be a high scorer, but I mean, do you want to pay 8.8K for Tobias Harris? It's a tough price tag, but you look at last game and he did have 57 fantasy points. He could certainly do that. He could certainly get 45 and be worth it at 8.8K. So I do think there are some good options here. Like Tyrese Maxey, 5K or 5.6 could be interesting. But I don't know what to do with the Nets. The Nets are the team that I'm struggling with a ton. Hoop, kick it off for me. How are you handling this Sixers and Nets game?
Yeah, it's the complexity of the slate. You have these situations where you're not feeling super comfortable. Yes, we have the Magic guys. We know they're going to have to play a lot of minutes, but these two teams are kind of getting back to full health. You got Kevin Durant coming back. The 76ers guys are for the most part there. It's an uncomfortable game for DFS purposes. The least appealing, I would say. James Harden, I think you can definitely play James Harden. Kevin Durant, how much is he going to play? Is he going to play his normal upper 30s minutes? Is he only going to play like 30 minutes? I don't know. But either way, Kevin Durant back takes away from all these other net guys. So really the only Nets guy I think you can really full on trust is going to be James Harden. And he's got a big boy full price tag. And then on the 76ers side, like I said, they're kind of back to full strength as well. I can't pay 8.8 for Tobias Harris. It's just an uncomfortable price tag. Now he's 7.3, I believe, on 7.4 on FanDuel. You can play him there. Like I think he's a fine option at 7.4 on FanDuel, but not the 8.8 on DK. Embiid, he's 10.8 on FanDuel. That's fine, but we have some centers that are in some pretty good spots. So I don't think he's a must. Maxey at 5.6 on DK, like you said, somewhat interesting, but not very appealing. I guess overall, this game is the one that I'm least interested in for fantasy purposes. Yeah, it should be a good watch. You get Harden, you get Durant facing off with Embiid. You got all the superstars. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun game to tune into and actually watch. But in terms of DFS, not the greatest. Would be James Harden, Embiid, I think, are in play on both sides. And then Tobias Harris just on FanDuel. But outside of that, not a ton of interest for me.
Yeah, AP, I'll shift over to you because Embiid, I mean, you make great cases for it, but there's also a lot of really good value here on this slate. So what are you doing here with these Nets compared to Embiid? And then what are you doing with some of these other Sixers? Because I think there are some decent options here, and it is a 3-game slate.
Yeah, I think what you do, for our Saber subscribers, I think this is really easy to do. I think what you do, you go over to the Nets, you bring their tab up, under project all of their rotational guys, Patty Mills, Bruce Brown, Bembry, any of these guys that just are rotational guys, under project them because we have better values in the other games, Magic, obviously, Cavs, Wizards that we're going to talk about. And then you put give James Harden and KD, unless we get some sort of restriction, but give them a fair projection, a fair median, projection, something in their range, because raw points are going to matter on the slate. I've just ran a few builds, and it's going to be really difficult to one. I do think this is going to be one of those easy slates because there's some really tasty builds that you can make, and it just seems like it might be a mistake to avoid some of these studs because it's going to be very easy to get them into your lineups tonight. But that's how I'm handling the net side. Just very transparent. I'm not playing any of the rotational guys. It's either James Harden or KD. Honestly, I actually like James Harden quite a bit here. People might be lower on him because KD's back. This dude has found something in his game, and you wonder, did it just take KD being out a little bit to get the pep back in his step? And the other thing you get with Harden that I really like is you get those you get the assists, you get the rebounds. So you get the extra stats there. It's not all raw scoring, which KD, you're typically relying on more raw scoring. So I could see a triple-double here for James Harden, and I could see him being one of the main guys that you want on the slate tonight.
Yeah, and he could easily be one of the main guys because it's just you have all this value. And I think one thing to look at is, let's say you have a 2-stud build. I say the thing to do is you do the 2-stud build, and then when you look at that, you take out one of the studs and see what the mid-tier gets you. Look at the 2v2. See if there's something that you think could be better. I think that is a really good approach to kind of trying to figure out how to handle this slate. You might like some mid-tier guys, but also you might like the guy. And then just as you look at the slate, Franz Wagner is someone that I really, really like. I think he's an awesome play today. Now, I might look at the slate and just be okay, let me under project Harden if I don't like him and see where he's at. Let me see what his number is. And maybe he still pops. Maybe you put him from 56 to 52 and you even bump Franz to from 32 to 35 and it's still not popping. Well, then there might be an issue. Why? It's because of how strong that other value plays are. And look at those 2v2s and the 3v3s. I think it's super important. Hoop, on these shorter slates, do you lean to more stars and scrubs at times? Because I think that is something that ends up happening a lot, but it always depends on what the values are. Sometimes the studs just go absolutely off where there is a value play that it's a 3K guy. And because all the other mid-tier guys weren't amazing, you can kind of get away with it and just play a guy that gets 12 fantasy points if you have the absolute nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I always tend to lean that stars and scrubs build on the smaller slates. Just because it's tough with the price, especially today, the price tags are just tough on these guys that we consider mid tier. To me, I like a guy like Tobias Harris. I want him closer to the mid tier. He's 8.8, Drew Holiday 8.9, Chris Middleton 8K. There's just not a lot of appeal in the quote unquote mid tier where you end up just getting forced to stars and scrubs. So today, I definitely think we're going to be looking at a stars and scrubs approach.
Yep, definitely agree with you on that. Let's get the likes up and subscribe to the channel, guys. We got 410 watching, 154 likes. What do we do? Just go for 200? It's a rough slate. I think we could settle on 200 unless you got something else here for us.
Yeah, Thursday slate here. Got a game canceled. not the most appealing slate. Get us to 2 bills, get the plays of the day, and then we get that ticket from Junior, who's in the chat, giving away, if you're just tuning in, our boy Junior, AP's #1 supporter on the live plays, the live Broadway plays, is going to give away $100 ticket just for some good mojo. So again, we thank Junior for doing that. You just got to get in this YouTube chat and make some, I guess, probably like some funny comments. It looks like there's some good stuff in there already. And you have to be a member at Run Pure Sports. That's the other stipulation. You have to be a member and be here in this YouTube chat. And Junior is going to select the winner and shoot it to me on Discord here before the end of the show.
All right, well, Junior will select that winner. There are some good comments in the chat, so get commenting and get the likes up again. Then we give out those plays of the day. Should be a good time. Let's move on. Let's talk about the last game on the slate, and it's the Cavs and the Wizards. And there's definitely some stuff to talk about. There are some plays to like. As crazy as it sounds, it feels like this game and like the Magic game are like the 2 better games. And then like the Nets and Sixers games feels like the lamer one. But those are where some raw point plays are. AP, I'll go over to you because the Wizards, Spencer Dinwiddie, he is out because of the health and safety protocols. So that shakes some stuff up a little bit, and that gives some guys some opportunity here. And then the Cavs, they are really shorthanded. I mean, Ricky Rubio got helped in the locker room, and Rubio's been absolutely smashing, but Kevin Pangos is a cheap option. Isaac Okoro, I don't even want to ask Hoop about him because Hoop has trouble talking about him after the 3 fantasy point game, but he's got to get some usage here, right? I mean, Dean Wade's on the court, Lauri Markkanen, Evan Mobley, and then Kevin Love off the bench. Even though he's off the bench at 6'7", we know he can produce, and I think it's a good opportunity for him against the Wizards because they struggle against some big men. So Wizards and the Cavs, AP, how are you handling it?
Yeah, I think we're still waiting on the Bradley Beal news, which is obviously really big. If he's out, then yeah, it's going to get even more interesting. I saw chat was talking about Craig Sword. So, I mean, something to keep an eye on. But yeah, this game is going to be really interesting. Daniel Gafford, he played heavy minutes. Not traditionally a guy in the past like that logs 30 plus minutes. But with Trez Harrell out, with how thin they are and with the size that this Cavs team still has, he's going to have to play another 36 minutes tonight. I think he is a really strong option at center. I think Kyle Kuzma is going to be another decent option there. If you're looking at that mid-tier build, probably a better tournament play. He's been really up and down, typically raw scoring dependent, but we have seen some upside from him at time to time throughout the season. I think the better play, though, is honestly maybe on the other side of this game with Kevin Love, who will most likely come off the bench, but he's going to get his 30-plus minutes. We've seen heavy upside from him, 40-plus multiple times in this spot. So I think he's very much in play. Then Evan Mobley, I'm curious about, too. He's easy to fit. All these guys are going to be easy to fit into your lineups tonight. But Mobley, great matchup here. He played 30 minutes in his first game back. Have to think that he plays 34, 30, maybe 36 tonight. He was a guy that was playing, big time minutes for this Cavs team when they're healthy. So he's going to get all the usage too. The other thing you got to like is Kevin Pangos, Euro guy that knows how to distribute the ball. He's going to go right to the big man, and he's going to take advantage of the lack of size that this Wizards team have. So I really, assuming he gets a start, Pangos, I really like getting him in there and correlating it with one of the bigs, Kevin Love, Mobley. But then I love Gafford on the other side of this game too. And then we're waiting on the Beal news. And then if Beal is in, he is in.
He's in and KCP's in. So that's the news that we got so far.
Yeah, he goes right into the discussion of, these bigs. I think the one advantage Beal has is, one, he's going to get all the usage. Dinwiddie's out. We've already seen this season he showcased some upside in these spots. If this game stays close, you get a competitive environment, and he doesn't have another dominant, all-star type player taken away from him. I think maybe that is what could give him a slight advantage over Harden or KD, but I'm still not sold. It's still going to come down to run it, updating projections, messing around, bumping up Beal versus, Harden, some of these other guys, and just seeing where it lands. But obviously, this game is going to be very viable for DFS tonight.
This game's going to matter. We got some Magic news in the starting lineup. We'll talk about that once we kind of finish up with this game. We'll have some more stuff rolling in. So there is the Tim Frazier starting is kind of interesting. I definitely want to talk about that with you guys. But let's talk about Bradley Beal. Let's talk about him here with him now in, and some of these Wizards and some of these Cavs. Of course, we want to get these starting lineups, and we should get most of these starting lineups in time. I know Doc Rivers, I believe, has COVID, so he probably won't mess around with us too much today. Hoop, is that correct? So hopefully we'll get some.
You never know.
Yeah, you don't know for certain, but we should have most of the lineups in time and ready to go, which hopefully that is the case. What are you doing here now that you got the news on the Bradley Beal and the KCP news? Because I think that is very important on this slate, and it hurts some of these guys. But again, it's still a 3-game slate. We have to kind of look at this slate and consider playing some of these guys because, again, you just can't cross off every game or all these options.
Yeah, it's kind of wild where this is like the premier game of the slate. Like it's been pretty rough these first two. Like the Bucks are a tough team to look to. 76ers, Nets, they're kind of at closer to full strength than a lot of other teams in the league. Then you come here and we have significant injuries on the Cavs side. Kevin Pangos looks like a guy that should play a lot of minutes here. They're going to need him. Markkanen, Kevin Love off the bench, Dean Wade, Evan Mobley is a really good play. Okoro, yes. I mean, I am still scarred by the 42 minutes and like 3 fantasy points. Like I said, I've never been able to get over that. It was like the beginning of last season. But tonight he's going to play a lot of minutes and he's relatively cheap. There's like 5, probably 6 Cavs guys that I'm interested, really all of them. Pango's probably my favorite. Mobley, probably my second favorite, and then Kevin Love in tournaments, Markkanen, Okoro, Wade, all guys to consider tonight. So we have, 6 guys, like I said, that I feel okay with going to on the Cavs side. On the Wizards side, no Dinwiddie, pretty big news. No Montrezl Harrell either. So Bradley Beal on FanDuel, he's 8.3K. I mean, it's probably like a lock play over on FanDuel. On DK, he's 10-1. But that is a little, that's $1,000 cheaper than than James Harden, Joel Embiid. $1,000 could go a long way today. So I think he's definitely a strong play. Gafford, very strong. Kyle Kuzma, and then you can sprinkle in guys like KCP and this Corey Kispert guy. Been playing a lot of minutes. 38 minutes and then 35 for him. Should be right there again tonight with a pretty big workload. So this is a game where we have probably 10 to 11 fantasy options. And really it's the premier game on the slate, despite being the lowest total. Wizards only favored by 3, should be pretty competitive. So very good game for fantasy purposes. And we should probably circle back and talk about that the Magic starters.
Yeah, well, let me go back to you on that, Hoop, because Tim Frazier, we know what Tim Frazier can do as a starter. We've seen it time in and time out, and it's normally in April DFS or March or May, but we're kind of already in that situation right now with the way the COVID stuff is. I kind of looked at Tim Frazier real quick when I saw him starting, and I said, that's really interesting, and I wanted to just kind of look at his game logs, and I saw it, and I said, okay, well, he played on the 22nd. When did he get signed? He got signed on the 21st to a 10-game contract. Okay, well, today's the 30th. That's day 9. So the 10-day contract's about to be up. Do you think that you are going to see a lot of Tim Frazier minutes tonight because they want to give him a better look? I also think the one reason why you don't see Mo Wagner starting, and I haven't looked at Gillespie, so I look at him, but I think you're going to see Mo Wagner and you're going to see RJ Hampton coming off the bench because of the usage that they can provide and the offense they can provide. Now, the question is, will one of those guys close, or will both of them close for Gillespie or Tim Frazier? That's the real thing to navigate here. And you can make an argument. RJ Hampton could be the better play because what could happen is he comes off the bench, he absolutely crushes, and then he closes the game out. That certainly could happen. Or you can make the argument they want to give a better look to Tim Frazier. And RJ Hampton is going to he's a young player. He's going to kind of be a part of your future for now, right? At least the next couple of years. So why not give Tim Frazier a little bit of a look? Is that what they could be doing? Or do we just know who Tim Frazier is and there's no point and we just play RJ Hampton instead? Or maybe we play both.
for me. Sorry. My audio cut out there for a few. Yeah, I mean, Tim Frazier starting, I think, is pretty significant. I mean, first off, he's 3-1 on DK and like 3.7 on FanDuel. And you look at, what he's been doing, 21 minutes last game. You have to imagine in the starting role, he's getting at least 27, 28 minutes. I think that's very fair. Like you said, that's a good nugget there that his contract is up in a game that they're likely not going to win. Like, are they going to run Tim Frazier into the ground or a guy that they are going to count on in the future in RJ Hampton? Probably Tim Frazier in a blowout scenario. Hampton is fine, though, coming off the bench. I'd be totally fine playing him at 3-9. The guy I'm a little more concerned about now that he's not starting is Mo Wagner. Has not got a lot of run this season, hadn't played in the previous 5 games and only played 11 minutes last game. I think his minutes could be limited tonight. The fact that he's not starting scares me. So I'll probably be more off of him for sure with him not being in the starting lineup. Hampton not being in the starting lineup, I think we still see probably about 30 minutes from him. So I'm not worried about that. And then the other guys, definitely brings Gillespie back. Not back into the conversation. It brings him into the conversation a little bit more at 3.1K. I mean, he's just going to have to play minutes. I mean, there's just no way around it. He hasn't played a ton this season, but the fact that he's starting makes me believe that he's going to get the run. Obviously nothing changes here for Wagner. Maybe a little boost with Tim Frazier in there and Gillespie for a guy like Wagner. Gary Harris, like I said, to me is still the least appealing of all these guys.
Yeah, AP, I'll go over to you because this is a tough spot here to decide what to do. Like, do you play this? I mean, they're both scrubs, right? But do you play like the guy that you think might get a little more burn because he's a scrub, or the guy that has been an elite producer, like when he's gotten in there? I mean, RJ Hampton is a good producer. Also, Gillespie's there where you could consider him. And when you put Mo Wagner off the bench or on the bench, and you have him coming in with RJ Hampton, well, who else does that help? I mean, I'm not saying I want to play Gary Harris, but like, I think Franz Wagner becomes better. I think Wendell Carter Jr. becomes better as well. So there is a lot more to like here with the Magic, but it's about navigating how that closeout goes. If the game's close, they're going to close with whoever's played best, but you could also see it go the other way where they get just blown out. And then maybe you see some other guys get run and you just kind of have to embrace some variance there. So how are you handling this Magic team with the new starting lineup now?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I want upside. I think RJ Hampton is the guy with far more upside than Tim Frazier. Like you said, we know what Tim Frazier is. We know what he does. Here's the thing. This is the 4th time that these two teams have played. Every game, I believe, has resulted in a blowout. Every single time, even just 2 days ago when they played or whatever, RJ Hampton is the guy that gets the blowout run. He's put a 42, 35, and then 25 against this Bucks team. And honestly, his shot wasn't falling. 3-point shot definitely wasn't falling. So the upside's there. For me, it's pretty easy. It's RJ Hampton. I hope what this news does is maybe lowers the ownership just a little bit. You are going to see people get more Tim Frazier, and it makes sense. I mean, if Tim Frazier gets you the studs that you want and you like how your build looks, I'm fine with it. He's 3.1K. But I do think the value pieces are going to matter on this slate tonight, more so than your standard 9 to 10 game slates. We often say he's 3K. It doesn't matter. He's not going to kill you. Tonight, I think it's different. I think you need to get the value pieces correct tonight. And I'm going with RJ Hampton. I like the usage he's going to get off the bench. I think the point that you made regarding Mo Wagner coming off the bench is right on and very important. Mo Wagner is a higher usage player. He would take away from Wendell Carter, from Franz Wagner when on the court. I think this news does enhance those guys. And then I agree with Hoop. I'm really concerned about Mo Wagner here too. If you look at the rotation last game, now I'll admit I did not watch the game. I don't watch many Orlando Magic games. Sorry, and shout out to Jaime. I know he's a big Orlando Magic supporter down there in Orlando, but man, this team is rough to watch. Going to be forced to watch them tonight. There's only 3 games. So, I mean, we don't have much to choose from, but and I'm going to have exposure to this game, so I'll be watching. But yeah, I mean, he played just 5 minutes in the first quarter and then another, 5.5 in the third quarter. Did not play in the second or fourth quarter. just weird rotation when they're already short. So it's like there's something going on there. But if he does get the minutes, and if you do think he gets those minutes, he could absolutely crush his price tag. We've seen what Mo Wagner can do when he gets run in these situations.
Yeah, and we got some comments in the chat. We got Dwayne says, I'm bad at picking value. You know, just head on over to the cash chart. There's always value on the cash chart somewhere. So if you don't know, that shows our player pool. Also, AP, I'm sure he's got some value on his heat map for you, so you can easily check that out. He's got everything there. He's got the core plays. He's got the guy's the fade, right? Maybe you're on a value and then you see AP's on it as a fade. Well, then maybe you fade it. And then we got one more question in the or not question, but a comment in the chat. Hingo A says 4 games picks have to be on point, and we're one short like of the plays of the day. So we got to get that home here. But Hingo, don't tell us they have to be on point. You know why? They're going to be on point because we bring winners. And 2, you don't even know it's only 3 games. It's not 4 games. So you got to brush up on the slate a little bit before you tell us to pick the winners. Am I right, Hoop?
Yeah. I mean, if you're coming in with a statement like that, I mean, you got to get the number of actual NBA games right. I mean, you can't be off on the number of games. 3, not 4. Come on.
Yeah, so we got a nice little 3-gamer here. We'll definitely close it all out. And the likes, they're going to push it home. They got it to 202. We got 481 watching, so we appreciate having you guys. Hoop, before we kind of go into the plays of the day, again, tell people some of the stuff we got at Rump here. Maybe there's someone new here. Sometimes there's new people popping in the chat. I mean, MMA's not going on now, but it's coming up here soon. They took a week off. We got all the content. NASCAR will just out of nowhere be popping up in February, and we won't ask you for a NASCAR package. We promise. So give us the breakdown here.
All sports, one price is kind of our motto. I mean, we don't upcharge when new sports start. I know like a lot of the other sites will charge you for one sport, and then when the next one starts, they're charging another $300, $400, $500. NASCAR $500, MMA $300. It's one price for everything on the site. Includes all our content, our core plays, our cash charts, individual player pools from guys like BigT, JSU. So it's a big perk of being a member at Run Pure Sports, a real inside look at what our coordinators and experts are doing on a daily basis. And we have the partnership going with SaberSim, which we just launched at the beginning of December. We're already working to make improvements to the optimizer on our website, where our content will be available right on the optimizer, core plays, cash plays, different player pools, all be available on the SaberSim optimizer at the beginning of January. Just need to be a member, have that package, the RPS, Run Pure Sports package with SaberSim, which is available on our pricing page. So come on over, check it out. Big winners. I mean, $1.9 million in winnings last week, 2.2 the week before, 1.7. I mean, it's at a point now where it's always between 1.5 and like 2.5 million in winnings. So the members, coordinators, everyone's crushing. Good time to join.
Yeah, come hang out with us. Come get the giblets, and we got the final countdown show that comes up next with DC, Glock, and JSU. They'll be breaking it all down. AP, was Glock on the playbook today? Who was on the playbook today for the countdown?
Our guy Gary was on the playbook today, so
nice.
He's got it up. Looks good.
Nice. We got Gary on that. So check out all the content that we have over here. Check out AP's heat map as well. But we got to get into the plays of the day. And I'm going to tell you this, I'm going first because it's a rough slate and I want to make sure nothing gets sniped from me. So be ready. I'm taking a magic guy. So if you got a magic guy, be concerned, AP or Hoop, but I'm taking Mr. Franz Wagner. I don't think he's going to be like the chalk or anything like that. It does seem like he could get a little overlooked, and at 7K, it feels uncomfortable, but I think he's got the ability to get 40 to 50 fantasy points. And at that price on this slate, I'll take it. So give me Franz Wagner there. I'll go over to you, AP. Who do you got? Who is your play of the day?
Yeah. I mean, tonight, like, there can't be any vetoes. I mean, it's 3-game slate. You got to eat some chalk. I'm going to go Daniel Gafford, 5K on DraftKings. Really good matchup with no Jared Allen to worry about. Very elite rim protector, good shot blocker, good rebounder. I think it's going to be a little bit better of a matchup for him. I think he's going to play 36+ minutes. I think he's going to have 40+ DraftKings points tonight.
No, yeah, I like it. I think that's a good one. Let's go over to you, Hoop. Give me your play of the day. Who do you got?
I'm going same price point and position as Mangone, same team as AP. Give me Kyle Kuzma as the rich parents play of the day. No Dinwiddie. Kuzma, 6.8K, not the most comfortable price tag. I think he comes out, and I'll say 45 fantasy points from Kyle Kuzma tonight.
I like it. Good stuff. That definitely is a good one. And yeah, we'll see. I think Kuzma had a nice little game the other day. They were kind of trapping him up a little bit, but
one more thing. We got
we
got the junior ticket winner. Almost forgot. He sent the name over. There were definitely some good comments in the chat, but he has selected the one and the only K Falik Burner as the winner of the ticket. So congratulations to K Falik Burner for winning that $100 ticket tonight on DraftKings. And again, thank you to our boy Junior for giving away that $100 ticket. It means a lot to us when we see our members giving back when they've had success. So thank you, Junior, and congratulations to K Falik Burner.
All right, K Falik Burner, congrats on the ticket. And if you're going to bring your boy K Falik with you to that play, enjoy. You should have a fun time at that play. But no, good luck tonight. Good luck in the contest that Junior, helped you out, get in. And hey, if you have a big win, be sure to, pay it back, pay it forward. And let's get those giblets. Again, JSU, DC, and Glock. They will be up next, leading you up the lock. So check that out. It'll be at 6:00. So it should be a good time. But we're going to get on out of here. Thanks a lot for joining us. Hit the like button out the door if you haven't yet. But for me, Mangone, Hoop, and AP, we will see you guys later.